Gabrielle Union is known for her memorable roles in films like Bring It On, Bad Boys 2, Deliver Us from Eva. She's also the girlfriend of NBA superstar Dwayne Wade. But it's her work when the camera is off that Gabrielle is most proud of. She's a fierce advocate for victims of rape. And she works alongside several cancer organizations, including Susan G. Komen. Gabrielle sat down with celebrity stylist Phillip Bloch at Manhattan's Alili restaurant for the latest Cause Celeb.
You've had an amazing career. You've played the smart, beautiful, integrous character. You've really kind of built a career on being that woman.
I kind of tend to play characters that are a little closer to who I am in real life. So I am a pretty assertive, maybe like my ex-husband might say, bitchy, an assertive, woman, very independent, very much, together. And I also don't mind the creating positive images for women of color.
And now, think like a man.
Yeah.
This is exciting.
Very, very. I'm so excited. This was such a fun and easy movie to make, and it's been so much fun to promote it with all my friends. And it's like being paid to go to summer camp with your best friends.
We make a decent living. I think it's time to invest and make this a real home with like matching dishes and glasses and
a new couch.
What's wrong with my couch?
Before you started in your acting career, you had a very life-changing moment. You were sort of trying to find your direction, I think, in life. You'd gone to college, you kind of came back to California, you started working in a shoe store, and you were raped at gunpoint. It was a rather violent episode. Can you tell us a little about the episode and how that actually changed you and how it's changed your future and how you help people in that situation?
Yeah, I mean, I was 19 years old, it was summer break from college. You think you know everything, at 19, you're like, you can't tell me anything. It's funny, you trust everyone and you don't trust yourself. And that's kind of who I was that day. Because it's kind of like my life before being raped and my life after. Those are two different people. It's almost like a mini death. So the second I was being raped, it was like I was hovering over myself. I was no longer that person, on the ground with a gun to their head being raped. I was sort of hovering over myself like, how did this even happen to me? Who is that person down there? But it's an incredible journey to go from victim, because, I say it all the time, people will let you be a victim your whole life and never have any expectations of you, and they'll always be like, well, she was raped. You got a D on your paper, well, she was raped. Or, they will give you an excuse to not to make anything of yourself, and I challenge, rape victims. I challenge you to become a survivor, because the woman that you will grow to be, the person that you will grow to be, is more fierce and phenomenal and strong than the woman that you thought you were. So I work with the RAIN organization. I was appointed by President Obama to the National Advisory Committee for Violence Against Women. I'm working to make sure the Violence Against Women Act is reestablished.
A few years ago, tragedy struck very close to home for you. Your best friend, one of your best friends, Kristen Martinez, a friend of many, many years, was diagnosed with stage 4 breast cancer, and your aunt was at the same time. Kristen had a very important message that she wanted delivered, and you've been doing a good job at that. Why don't you tell us about that?
Yeah, she was just like, I'll put it in different language because, Kristen was very real. She was like, fear can literally kill you. And you got to tell people it's better to know than to not know. Prevention is the key. Don't be so fearful of what the news may be that you just never go. She worked a lot with the Young Survivors Coalition, and the Young Survivors Coalition is really geared towards helping young people sort of navigate treatment and becoming advocates for themselves, and also finding a network of other women who are going through the same thing. Susan G.
Komen, they invited you actually to be an ambassador.
Yeah, no, when they found out the work I was doing on behalf of Kristen Martinez, they invited me to be a global ambassador for the Circle of Promise, part of Susan G. Komen. And I recognize through my work with Kristen and in urban communities, there are so many factors why we have the highest mortality rate. We are fear being one of those things. Access to proper health care is another. and our lack of knowledge about preventative services is huge. And so through Susan G. Komen, we've taken that message worldwide. But what I noticed more than anything that was sort of shocking and not what I expected, the same issues that you see in third world countries are the same issues that we see in America. You know, so I always say I didn't need to leave the Bronx to get education about what the needs are in the world, because they're the same.
But thanks to a lot of the work you've done, your aunt is actually a survivor of breast cancer at this point.
My aunt, Donna Johnson, she was able to get an early diagnosis, which is key, and she beat breast cancer.
You're putting it out there in the universe. You are putting out there that I'm not going to take this, whether it's rape, whether it's breast cancer, a bad husband. You're not going to take it, and we love it.
No, well, thank you.
Thank you.